Hello and welcome to Stretchy Back Gamers to the Great British Hobbit League YouTube channel. Here with your hosts, GBHL Jamie.
And GBHL Damian.
Yay!
The first time together.
Yeah.
As GBHL hosts.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
The sides all work as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have to move.
We still have a gobby one and a quiet one.
And a quiet, concise one.
Yeah.
So this is our tournament review for the Longbottom Carnival. This is going to be part 1 of 2.
Yeah.
Day 1, we played 3 scenarios this day, 3 on the second day, and we'll run through our opponents, what we played against, and how we're doing so at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So to kick it all off, modified Reconnoiter.
Yeah, so this is it's a Titans thing now, isn't it? Where they change the victory conditions.
Ever so slightly, just to tweak it a little bit.
Yeah. So you get 5 victory points if you get 3 times. You get 1 victory point if you get more models off than your opponent.
Yep.
3 if you get twice as many off.
Yep.
And 5 if you get 3 times off.
And if your opponent gets no models off and you get 1, you get 5, is it?
No, you get 1.
You get 1.
They essentially count as having 1 for the purposes of that.
Yeah.
And then you get leader and breaker as well.
Leader and breaker.
Yeah.
So it really sort of, when I initially always see it, I think it always detracts a little bit from the Horde force.
Yeah, it hurts a Horde force, certainly. Yeah.
So I was a little bit worried going into it, knowing that Ed was going to be there with 4 Felbies.
Should we tell them about our armies?
Yeah, we should.
And where it is, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like launch.
Yeah, just go
Well,
boom.
we did the preview, obviously,
Yeah,
so
you
you should know a fair bit about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was at Titans.
Titans Wargaming, yeah.
700 points?
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
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 Not like Throne of Skulls.
Yeah.
James Broad.
600 points, James Brown.
And you took...
I took the Woes Elves. Had Gladriel, Legolas with Armour and Cloak, Rumil and Gonbry Garn leading sort of 11 bows, 8 spears, so 8 blades, 4 guards of the Gladriel Court, and I think there might be some extra spears in there. And then 8 Woses with axes. And this is the first time I've modelled Gonbry Garn with an axe. And oh boy! So glad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's good, is he?
Yeah.
Way
What a
out.
scumbag.
Yeah, what a scumbag. So you're kind of tried and tested, kind of Woes Elf alliance.
The one that I quite like using. I think it's still better at 500 points. I think that's its real sweet spot.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. And I took kind of fairly tried and tested force, which is my Pharaoh Berserker Heavy Isengard list. So it was 14 Pharaohs, 14 Berserkers, Saruman on horse, Grima, an Armoured Shaman, and Vrasku.
Yeah.
So it's quite different for me than normal because I didn't have any crossbowmen.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a captain down.
Yeah. So three might down.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So I didn't have much might. I only had 6 might really to play with because the Shaman would be channeling.
So I basically in my head had 11 because I'd always near enough always heroic channel.
Blinding Light.
Blinding Light.
Yeah. So we're both taking quite serious tournament armies because we're both in with a chance to win the league.
Both in with pretty decent shouts.
So we're going along to this to compete.
Mm-hmm. For me, it was to win and gain the full 100 points, or at least improve was the bare minimum I wanted from the tournament.
And where did you need to come to improve?
There were 34, and I needed to come sort of at least. I think it was at least 7th, but
Okay.
7th would increase me so minimally it wouldn't make a difference too much.
And for me, whilst winning obviously would be good, it was more about stopping you and Ed winning. If the things stay as they are now, I win.
Yeah.
So I'd need to keep them off the top spot. So we both went to this tournament to kind of compete and shake things up a bit.
Yeah. I think we did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I shook.
Yeah. Sure.
So yeah, those are armies.
Yeah.
It was Sunday, Monday, the bank holiday weekend.
Yep. Which always confuses me. I'm still confused. I still think it's Sunday.
I think I said it on one of the other videos about what we were doing Saturday night.
Boggles my mind.
Yeah, you can't just suddenly change that. It's insane.
So we're going out on a Sunday night. It's mental. No one ever does that.
Jinx.
I know.
Jinx again.
Our mental synchronization.
Nice. So yeah, but thankfully everyone turned up at the right time.
Yep.
On the Sunday.
Yeah.
They got there on the right day. And 34 people.
Yeah, it's
Which
good
is
turnout.
a Titans record, isn't it?
It's fantastic turnout,
Yeah, really, really good.
It's nice when it gets that high because then, even if you drop to 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, you're still getting a good score.
For the league.
Yeah.
And also it mixes things up.
We should mention as well, they changed the way that they scored it, didn't they?
Yes, yeah, do
It's a
mention that.
big change for
maths nerds
for
out there.
maths nerds, yeah. And it's something that happens in X-Wing tournaments, and always has done. And I actually really quite like it for
I liked it.
us. There's some grumbles at the event, but I think it worked out well. So they used what's it called?
Strength of schedule.
Strength of schedule, and that works. So let's say we were playing a game. I'd won 3 and you'd won 2.
Yeah.
If I beat you, let's say I've got 12 points, you've got 10 tournament points. If I beat you, I'd earn 10 points to my strength of schedule score.
Yeah.
But if you beat me, you'd get 12.
Yes, because you're doing better.
Because I've done better so far.
Yeah.
Which, if you want the theory of it, is you don't want to lose your early games, because then you're going to play people who've also lost.
Yes.
And when you beat them, they're not going to have as many points for you to get.
And this is for the tiebreak, isn't it? It's not
This
how
is
they're
the tiebreak,
scoring
yeah.
the tournament.
No.
But rather than using victory points as a tiebreak, they were using essentially how good the players
That you've
were.
played with.
Yeah. Which I really like.
Yeah, very
Tom,
good.
Tom,
You've mentioned him. How far into this video is it?
Tom Harrison has said for a while that he thought the tiebreak should be the tables you played on. So it's, it's similar to that.
It's essentially that,
so
yeah.
I think he suggested that you would, if you needed a tiebreak, the tables are numbered.
Yeah.
You add up the tables you played on, and the
The
person
lowest.
with the lowest is that, which is I thought was quite clever.
Yeah, it should be
So
fantastic for me.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good idea. And what I really liked about it is, come the end, I think we knew who the winner was, but we didn't know where everyone else was.
Yeah.
Whereas normally,
You can
you know where
you've
you
got
are.
a good.
Yeah.
I had a fantastic round at Lords of Battle. I'm going to be in second place.
And it also means you don't get that one Horde army wins.
Reconnoiter horrendously.
Yeah, or
horrendous.
hold ground.
Yeah.
Gets 50 VPs and then wins the tournament on the tiebreak.
Yeah.
So I liked it.
I think it was good as well.
Well done, Chris and Damien.
Yeah.
For doing something
Implementing it.
different.
Yeah.
As well. I think it was quite brave.
Yeah. I think I liked it so much. In future Stockport tournaments after the ones this year, I'd like to have
Let's
that.
use it. Cool.
I think it works really well. So, we've waffled on quite a bit, I think, before.
Well, at least now we've introduced what the hell we're talking
yeah,
about.
true.
Just
Tournament
game
review.
one. Boom.
This is why I need someone.
Game one, lost. Game two, won. Game three, won. See you later.
Yeah, done. So, game one was Modified Reconnoiter, which we went through earlier what the victory conditions were. And I was drawn against, we've already mentioned him, Thomas Harrison.
Thomas Harrison.
And he was taking a Helm's Deep themed force, which will keep a secret exactly what it was, because I'm sure you'll do it in the plans here probably.
It was chosen by the people, kind of.
Chosen by the people, to an extent.
Peer selected.
Yeah.
We asked for your theme, and you picked Helm Deep.
And we had this game where we were on sort of Rohan Fields essentially. And rolling for Warbands to come on, I think I got 1 on in the first turn, his entire force turned up. And I was like,
That's what you want.
I was like, oh, this is going to be a great game. Came on, I think he's got a lot of thrown weapons.
Yeah, you borrowed them off me.
And it was really sort of daunting having to block off channels where there's not blinding light. Because essentially there was 3 channels. 1 along a river, 2 on either side, 1 going through a wood. Which I was like, I'll take the wood one.
Yep.
And Tom left sort of a token defence there with lots of thrown weapons. I was like, oh, don't want to go that way anymore.
Because against you, strength 3, throw
Strength 3.
defense 3.
Just 5s to hit if he's moved, 4s to wound, ripped through me too quickly. And in the centre there was obviously the biggest bulk of everything. You had there Aragorn and Theoden.
Yeah.
Fantastic Theoden. And Gambling as well. They
Nice
all
themes.
lumped together. Ultimately managed to push through his defence 5 line. Fight while he shone through. And heroic march my sort of army off the board. But I hadn't realised I'd nearly come so close through killing him so quickly to ending the game before I'd even got anything off.
And was he a 1?
He would have won. He had a few guys off. I think about 6 or so guys off in the end.
Oh, okay.
So I managed to just run a bunch.
Oh, you didn't.
You've got to.
I'm editing this.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Scribble, write down game 1.
Game 1.
Jamie's.
Game 1. I swore. Jamie swore. Jamie swore. Sorry, everybody. So I managed to run my army off the other end of the board, and I think I managed to win it. Oh no, you mustn't have got anything off. I managed to win it 6-0 in the end. I broke him and got
Jamie's got his VPs. I don't have my VPs down here, so I'm going to look very badly organised.
Yeah.
It's very naughty.
I made a list of all my games and the VPs for the first day anyway. The second day was a bit of a different story.
I'm going to make up some VPs.
Yeah.
So yeah, so nearly did that.
Nearly lost
Risky
to
thing.
yeah.
A good game?
Yeah, very good game. And obviously, I think Tom went on to have a good tournament, didn't he?
Because of you.
Because of me.
Because
yeah,
you
I knocked
sent him down. But obviously off to a fly.
Off to a good start, so off to a win.
You say 6-0?
6-0, yeah.
Oh, because it's modified, of course.
Because it's modified, yeah.
So you've got far less
I got
room
double-
to play with it.
Double what he got off.
Yep.
And broke him.
Cool.
Yep. And yourself?
I got drawn against a young lad called Fritz Kuhn,
Yeah.
I believe, sorry if I've got that wrong, who came over from Holland with his dad. He was Bruce's son.
Oh yeah.
So there were 4 guys from
Four-
five from Holland?
Four
Guys from Holland who came
one
over.
yank.
So well done to you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for making the effort. It's good to mix it up and have different people. So he had brought along something like 12 warriors of Minas Tirith, 12 rangers with spears behind them.
Yeah.
Beragond, Damrod, and Madril leading them.
Oh, my drill.
And then Saruman the White
Yeah.
on horse and Treebeard.
So it sounds like quite a daunting force.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like, oh, okay, so it's not cheesy and beardy because of the warriors are right, but suddenly Saruman the White and
Saruman the
Treebeard,
White in any army.
yeah,
It's
it's
a
horrible.
pain
Sorcerer's
to play
Blast on a 4 and 18-inch range
18
and a lot of spells.
Ugh. Yeah.
But we came on, we walked towards each other, as one is wont to do in that scenario, and eventually hit. And I've long since thought with Recon, with my army, I try and just smash them up and win the game, because I don't have the models to kind of run off.
To send off running, yeah.
So we got into this battle line. This seems so long ago. I find it really hard to remember this. We got into this battle line, Treebeard was at the end of it, trying to hurl, Saruman was kind of shutting him down with like a mobilise and that sort of thing. Yeah, my Saruman was shutting him down and gradually got rid of his will over a few turns doing that, and was chopping him up, and I sent one feral off, legging it towards the board, and I think I broke him fairly early on, and then he realised that the game could now end. So Treebeard and Saruman started trying to, his Saruman on horse, started trying to kind of go off down the sides, because obviously in this Recon, getting 2 models off if I got none is 3 victory points. It's not like just getting 2 models off in the other version.
It's 2,
and they started going there, and I was able to stop. I think maybe I got lucky with the priority and the right moves, and I remember commanding Treebeard back from that, back towards his stable edge, and it got to the point. Recon's at 25%, so I was really cutting at. He must have been getting very low on numbers.
That's why he
started running for it. Yeah. And as I said, I had this one feral going off. Because it's always tricky for me to know how many I can spare to run off.
Yeah, the Recon's always the maths thing, isn't it?
And so that all kind of happened, and I realised that if I killed, I think it was 3 more, the game would end.
Yeah.
But in the next turn, my feral would get off, giving me 1 point.
Yeah.
And 1 model off to his 0, so I'd get 1 victory point.
1 VP for.
So, and given 2 turns, I could get 2 off.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I decided to just take the win.
Yeah. Go for the 1-0.
Go for the 3-0 for breaking him, because whilst I was very much in control of the board, I just had this terrifying feeling that what if Treebeard throws a stone at Saruman, wounds the leader, or his Saruman is able to kill him or blast him somehow. So I just thought, no, jumped on, swarmed the guys, killed off enough models and ended the game. And I also thought, and here's some tournament meta for you, I thought getting less VPs would
increase your strength to shed.
would give me an easier game potentially for the second game. If I won't be playing anyone who's just smashed that army completely. As some of the kind of power game forces tend to destroy their enemies, don't they? A lot of the time. So, so I went for that. So I won 3-0, I believe, from memory, for breaking him.
Yeah.
And that was it. And as always in my games of Recon, nothing got off the board. There was a feral near it. But it was really nice. He was a really nice guy. Liked him a lot. Very chatty.
I hated my opponent.
Yeah. Well, you had that. He's a nightmare.
Yeah,
Absolute nightmare. Imagine starting a tournament playing.
It's like the worst draw ever.
Yeah. Worst man ever.
Yeah.
And really enjoyed it. It was nice talking to him about kind of Holland a bit and the scene over there and that sort of thing.
Well, it seems like it is picking up, or they seem to have a tournament scene going on, because the Dutch guys were saying that in the tournaments over there, they have taken out special strikes except for heroes, and it's got to be the one that's modelled.
I'd love that.
Yeah,
I know this won't surprise many people, but yeah, I would absolutely like to. Not necessarily the heroes, because I like special strikes, but just saying, if you can't buy it on the model, you can't strike with it.
So you can't stick an axe on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Which is really interesting, because sort of distracting a little bit, but the guy.
Oh, you see, it's good. You're talking.
Yeah, the Dutch guys are saying that because they were coming over and they know that we use special strikes, they were literally saying, and their armies were pretty grim, very cheesy. They were quite honestly thinking of just sticking axes on everything, because that is the best weapon.
Yeah.
They're like, all my orcs, they've got shields, but I want the ones with picks and axes, really.
Yeah. I mean, we had quite a long chat about it, I think, at lunch yesterday about my army, and just saying, why don't I just put axes on all the berserkers, because they have two-handed weapons, so it's an alternate, and all the ferals.
Yeah.
Like that, and that army would devastate things, and I won't. And I've said that, but I swear I'm not going to do it, because A, I like my models, and I don't just want to do that, and B, it's not how they're intended.
Yeah. So, the next game.
It was lunch, wasn't it?
Oh, it was lunch,
Was there a display of your armies? No, just to give...
Display your armies, give people the chance to view.
Yeah, and we went to KFC.
Yeah, KFC. Good choice.
Good choice. I had a raging headache at that point from a night out. I don't know if you'll ever see a video from the Saturday night that we filmed, but as a result of that night with Ed and Sam, I had a raging headache. Yeah. But yeah, good KFC.
Yeah, good KFC. Chili bites.
Chili bites.
Yeah.
Twist a meal for myself. That's actually one of the only things I not dislike. I think that's too harsh, but isn't as great at the Titans event. That
the food options are.
The food options are far away.
Yeah.
Relatively.
You need a car to get to good food places.
There's just a couple of
shops. Stuck at the shop around the corner.
Yeah. It's always the second day where it stings for me, because I'm like, I don't want another KFC.
Yeah.
But it's a small thing.
Yeah. That's fine. So after lunch, it was to the death, the second game, and I'd moved up onto, I think it was the 4th table.
Okay.
From mine, so the VPs weren't that high, but and I was drawn against Callum Eden.
Ah, Callum.
Yeah, Callum.
You probably don't know a lot about Callum Eden. He's
they probably don't know.
He's he lives in Bicester near Captain Handsome.
Yep.
And he's a very good player.
Very good.
Doesn't come to a lot of events because he works on Saturdays.
Yes, so he can only really make the one day. So this was perfect.
This is great for him. He's really good, and he always challenges the top tables. But you might not have heard too much about him.
Played my first game with him at this tournament. Not this tournament. This tournament this time last year.
Alright, cool.
And showed him what a Barrow White and Prowlers do to a troll. Pacing striker as well. Yeah. It was dead troll. And I think
if you didn't know, the answer was
dead
killer.
Dead troll. And ever since we've sort of had this mini rivalry going on, where we just constantly compare each other who's one up on the opponents. And spoilers, after this game, I'm back on top. After the one, where was the last event in?
I was seeing your head to head.
Yeah.
How many times have you played?
We've played near enough every tournament.
Oh, really?
I can remember, that he's been to. We've usually played each other. So to the death. Neither of us have a banner in our force, so that ignores that. Just wipes that rule out. Silly rule. I like to the death. I just like pitch battles. He had, 8 crossbows, 8 arbalesters.
Yeah.
A lot of not venom knights. Castellians are dull with it.
Yeah, he had about 6. The upgraded ones.
The upgraded ones, the Fight 5 guys. A lot of Haradrim. What the nasty things?
Watch the
Corner. Haradrim spears, the Golden King, Knight of Umbar and Fellbeast, and a Taskmaster.
We had a couple of half trolls as well, didn't we?
He only had one.
Did he only have one?
One half troll, yeah. Because I ignored it. because I can't deal with them. So yeah, looking at it, I was like, I reckon I can take this army. I've got cast blinding light. I shoot it quite nicely with the blowpipes being 5s to wound as well, and having poison. So, if you imagine the board has sort of a big rocky outcrop and a forest next to it. I set up in, it's posted on the Facebook group, in sort of an L shape, because I didn't know where he was going to come from. So I set up my first warband here, the Woses, and then he sets up on the other side of the rocky outcrop. I was like, oh, well, I better set up on this side because that's where he's going to come and swing round. That's what he did do, and this was a game where a single set of dice rolls sort of really secures it for you. Brought in his Fellbeast to be outside my charge range, inside his.
Yep.
I had 4 bowmen who sort of looked up. 4 hits. All hit the Fellbeast. 6, 6, 6, 5. And the Fellbeast just went.
That's outstanding.
No, because I was really worried about the Fellbeast, as he should be.
Yeah.
And obviously Khan's a good player, so he knows. I know he's going to just hurl me. And just like that, the biggest threat in his army was
4
gone.
shots.
4 shots.
You should have hit with like 2 or 3 and wounded on 5s.
6s.
Wounded on 6s.
Yeah.
You should have maybe done 1.
Maybe done 1. I was expecting to do 1. I set up all my archers
Actually, that's horrible.
to shoot it. Like,
Was it one of the times where, I think we talked about this in our last video, did you feel a bit bad?
yeah, I couldn't believe it. It just
yeah,
happened.
That
I was
kind of
like,
little bit.
I think I actually apologised. It's like,
Yeah.
I thought I'd
I
shoot.
didn't mean to.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I thought I'd have to shoot my entire army at it and burn Legolas's might to kill off this Fellbeast or kill the Wraith.
Yeah.
But then it meant the Knight of Umbar was on foot, and I was like, well,
It's not really a problem, is it?
don't let you steal my stats if you want. Yeah, go help them out.
It's the Fellbeast that's the issue.
Yeah. So that was a big problem dealt with very early into the game. And then as the lines hit, obviously you got the Woes on the front, piercing striking, with a fight 5 against sort of his majority, fight 4 army, his defence 4. The piercing strike took me to at least strength 4, so 4's to wound, and it was literally kind of like wave hitting a rock. It just kept coming and dying on it, and I won the game in the end 5-0, so I must have broken him and got a wound on the general. I don't know that 5-0.
Was it? This is
breaking.
To the death is just breaking, and
Breaking,
it's 5
it's
VP,
worth 5, yeah.
and not killing the general.
Yeah.
Knight of Umbar probably hid behind a rock.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was a win, and
2 wins.
2 wins, yeah.
Good
Feeling
game.
pretty good. It was a good game. Well, for me. Yeah. I feel a little bit sorry for Callum because his big toy got taken out very sort of cheaply,
Yeah.
and I feel he would have broken me, and we'd have had a proper scrap if the Fellbeast had stuck around.
It's the wonderful nature of the game, isn't it? That you've had a game at some point where that's happened to you.
Yeah.
Where like, it.
Legolas fails all his
Yeah.
fate in one go and takes 2 wins
Yeah.
or something.
It's a dice game.
Yeah.
Sadly. Wish it didn't involve dice.
Yeah. It's just playing cards or something.
Yeah. We should do that.
Yeah.
House rules.
No dice.
Let's type it into the FAQ now.
Yeah.
See what happens. Cool.
So 2 wins and best start I could ask for.
Yeah, absolutely. I at To the Death drew George Seymour.
Was it?
Who?
No, it wasn't.
No, I didn't. That's a spoiler for later.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying, as you'll find out, to block this out. I drew Kieran Street. Kieran,
well known on the channel for being an Isengard player,
absolutely.
and seems to be James's kryptonite at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's, apart from the East Grinstead event where he turned up with absolute filth,
Yeah.
he's generally known as an incredibly fluffy player and brings really themed lists that aren't necessarily going to compete.
It shouldn't be competitive.
Yeah. He took the White Council on foot to a tournament and he
Without
took all
the
the
good
bad
ones.
ones. Yeah. Because that's what he wanted to do. So I was thrilled to see Kieran rock up because he's a nice guy and I like him a lot and I like playing him. And a part of me was thrilled to see Kieran rock up because I was in a tournament and I was like,
well,
I've got this.
What was the force?
He had something like 12 Army of the Dead warriors, which is tough.
Yeah.
Like, defense 8. But against me, my ferals are defense 5 and courage 5,
So
and my berserkers are defense 6 and courage 7.
Yeah.
So it actually helped.
So you're better off.
Yeah. And then he had 12-ish ranges of armour.
Yeah.
So it's essentially, and then he had 3 hunters.
Yeah.
So it's essentially, it was like the Paths of the Dead list.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a book, Paths of the Dead. So he had the Grey Company kind of thing,
Good
led by the
leader,
3 hunters, and the army there. But really cool and really fluffy. But you're looking at that. I've got a strength 4 army. I'm like the Rangers.
Fight 4 as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the Rangers all go down
very
like anything.
quickly. Yeah.
And he's got all these tanks. He also had 2 Rangers of the North who I need to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
obviously you've got Saruman, so you can sort of just transfix the
big boys.
whichever hunters you need to.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, I went into this feeling pretty confident, but knowing we'd have a great game.
Yeah.
So we set up. He kind of hid his army of the dead in a house.
Yeah.
Like in a ruins thing. So they were all inside that, and the Rangers lined up here, and Legolas was over in the far corner. And
Yeah.
we were talking about Legolas earlier. I hate Legolas.
Yeah.
And you know what he's going to do. You know he's going to be there all game. Plink! Yeah, just pinging at something.
Plink. Hey Saruman, plink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I sent my whole army heading off this way. I think it was on turn 2. He had 2 rangers. His 2 Ranger North was sitting on the top of a ruin.
Yeah.
I think it was turn 2. The Ranger of the North shoots at Saruman.
Yep.
He hits Saruman.
Mhm.
He horse or riders.
Yep.
He hits Saruman.
Oh, okay, so 6s.
Yeah, 6 to wound.
Yeah.
Rolls a 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a cheap hit.
Oh.
Fate the first. 1. Oh, not going to use 3 might.
No.
Fate the second. 2. Jamie Gibbon, do you use 2 might?
This is really bad. It's a really hard call.
Very early in the game and I've only got 6.
Turn 2, and you're 2 might down, and you've only got 6 might in the force.
I've got another Fate, remember?
And you've got Aragorn lurking. So you probably say no, don't you?
You do.
You do.
I think.
Yeah.
Third Fate, 1.
Oh.
Saruman, all 3 Fate down, and a wound from 1 shot. He had like
Gotcha.
3 shots. And 2 Rangers and another. You know, the Rangers were shooting at
Yeah.
the Ferals and stuff. So that was kind of like, whoa. Because suddenly, Saruman,
Suddenly you've got to chase the game.
he looks a
quite
bit
strongly.
worried as well.
Yeah.
Turn 3, I think it was, I start going towards him, Ranger of the North, hits Saruman,
Yeah.
hits Saruman
Yeah.
on the horse, rolls 6 to wound.
Oh.
Saruman's down to 1 wound. I'm like, okay. Greenman's doing some sterling work at this point, by the way, in between Gimli and Aragorn.
Yeah.
Like shutting them down. I'm getting towards the Rangers, I'm killing a few Rangers.
Yeah.
Turn 3 or 4, Legolas, auto hits Saruman, and I'm suddenly sitting there going,
Oh god.
he needs a 5 to wound, and he's got 3 might.
Yeah.
Rolls a 6, kills Saruman.
Jesus.
Is that alright?
Yeah, Jesus is fine.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
kills Saruman like on
Yeah.
about turn 4, and I'm saying like, well, he's how I stop them.
Yeah.
He's what I use to
He's what you
immobilise.
need, yeah.
Like,
Palantir went later in the game, and yeah.
okay. So next turn, he then did a wonderful thing where I moved Grima into position, and he went, right, so I'll shoot Grima, and I went, you can't. And you went, yeah, I can. Saruman's dead, and you know, obviously you can, but
Yeah. But
whenever
it's so
it never
rarely
comes up, yeah.
happens. You're like,
because
Grima's revealed.
the 2 situations are either Grima gets blasted or black darted or whatever
Yeah.
in the first couple of turns and is dead, or Saruman doesn't die.
Yeah.
And so I was like, not Grima, and then shoot Grima.
No.
Not this week, Grima. So suddenly then, I'm like, right, okay,
So
this is looking
You
tricky.
just unleashed all the might back into the world.
Yep. And importantly, Aragorn is now a beast. Because
Yeah.
Grima against Aragorn is superb.
Yeah.
Because he can't use Mighty Hero without burning through a store.
Exactly.
And by this point, he was pretty low. I think he might have been, because of Grima, he might have been
Yeah.
out of might.
So he just got his free
Yeah.
one at least.
So I'm now obviously chasing the game to the death. There's very few variables.
Yeah.
He's killed my leader. I have to break him.
Yeah.
I charge forward, fully commit towards his 20 guys,
Yeah.
whatever, with a whole bunch of
We should
angry
still be-
2 attack models. Yeah, I'm still pretty confident.
Yeah.
Gimli causes a bit of a mess, but I eventually, after a few turns, get 5 on him.
Yeah.
Wait till he doesn't get the 6, and take him down.
Take Doom in one.
The army of the dead that were in this building, we're now kind of moving around this building.
Yeah.
And I'm chopping through the ranges and stuff and getting there, but the army of the dead, even with the 6s and the 2 attack, even with 2
Yeah.
attacks, I just can't kill them.
No.
I just wouldn't die.
Yeah.
And Vasco, who's my only other Mike Kelly now, died. I I can't remember how. I think maybe Legolas shot him or something. I can't remember. But he's out of the game, so I've got no might. And suddenly then...
It's the worst position to be in when there's an Aragorn.
When there's Aragorn, yeah. So what would happen? You're quite rightly, he was playing incredibly sensible.
Roll for priority?
Yeah, roll for priority. If Kieran won it, he heroic marched.
Yeah.
Got away from me.
Yeah.
If I won it, he heroic moved. Got away from me.
Yeah.
And so, no, Vrasku didn't die. I must have had Vrasku, he must have just been out of might, because Vrasku was very handy right at the end. So I'm basically now chasing him around like a Benny Hill movie. Like, my remaining orcs are chasing him around, and suddenly Kieran's broken me. Which, you know, just by me forcing myself to overcommit and having to keep chucking things into Aragorn, because at this point, to win the game, I have to kill Aragorn.
And break.
I know, at this point I could just break it because I get the 5 VPs. But I'm having to chuck everything in to try and kill it, which then meant I broke.
Yeah.
So at that point then, I can't win. The best I can now get is a draw.
Yeah. You have to kill Aragorn and break him. And, you know, Aragorn's not easy to kill. I think I did manage to maybe wound him or take a couple of fates somehow at one point. Yeah. But I'm chasing around this building and he's still not broken, so he's not taking courage tests or anything. Yeah. And we all know that Aragorn likes to fail a courage test. Yeah. And he eventually lined up, you know, in the last turn. He said sorry a couple of times. I was like, look, mate, it's a tournament. You're doing what you have to do. There's nothing wrong with it. And he moved Aragorn there and put, I think, 8 guys and took 2 ranks of 4 like in front of him. And Vrasku, who's my only shooting model, there was a ranger in the north, you could see, or something, and he didn't move because there's no point. Yeah. Shot the ranger in the north, and in killing him, broke Kieran. And that was the last roll of the game because there'd been a couple of times where there weren't any combats. Yeah. So I broke him. I broke him for a bit of pride. Yeah. So that became 6-3.
4-1, isn't it? He killed Saruman and we both get 1. Or do you both get?
You both get 3. You both get 3 for that.
If you're both broken into the death. Yeah. So 6-3. Yeah. And I lost. Yeah. Fairly convincingly to Kieran's fluff. Jesus. And you know it was a great game. Like, Kieran's a lovely bait. You can't take anything away from it. And I think, on reflection, it's a really good thing about this for the system. Yeah.
So any army can win when played well. Yeah. Obviously, a bit of luck.
Yeah, you need a bit of luck, but it's like taking out the Felbeast thing. It's like suddenly one archer, you just get lucky, and you know it wasn't Legolas auto hitting him that killed him. It was the archer taking the 3 fate off him and removing the spellcaster, and then that removing Greenwood. It's a big chain effect, and I felt a bit bad because an awful lot of people then came around to the table, obviously, because it was a long game as well, and we're going, you lost to that. Not pointing at Kieran, pointing at his army, and then going, how? I remember Tom in particular doing his face, you know, like that. But going, how did you lose that? And I was like, well, you know, he's right here. Like, you know, it's like, but it was the on paper matchup. Yeah. You know, it happens sometimes in the game. You go, I've got this. Yeah. And
we were saying there can be games sometimes where you get a real lesson in humility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You shouldn't look at a force and go, I've got it in the bag. Yeah. When no dice have been rolled, you think I've won this already.
And I think it's just when you go to a tournament, you expect to play an army that worries you. Yeah. You know, to go like, oh, I don't want to play that. It's more that, I think. It's more the anti not wanting to play. So I don't want to play that, all those Felbeasts. I don't want to play all that Harad. I don't want to play that. Oh, this.
I wouldn't mind this.
Yeah, this is.
I could take
that.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, it's happened to me before. I played a guy called Tom at the East Grinstead tournament that played 6 games of SBG, and he had a fairly generic army, and I went, this is in the bag, and he smashed me 20-0. It's like, you know, it happens, it's great, and, you know, it hopefully encourages new players to come along and stuff, but, you know, massive props to Kieran, he played it really well. Yeah. You know, he smashed a fairly...
So if he beats me, then he's beaten all the hosts.
Maybe that's what he's doing, because
he's kind of in there.
Host hunting. Yeah. But yeah, watch out, he'll take fluff and smash you.
Yeah, I'll be really embarrassed.
So Army of the Dead and 3 Hunters, way overpowered. Yeah. Way, like power game, like cheesy. Yeah, filth.
Cheating.
Yeah, it's cheating. It is cheating, Kieran Street. More like Kieran Chi.
Oh, I got it, that's it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No talk.
Oh, did it come out?
No, didn't. You obviously didn't think you were being funny.
So yeah, really enjoyed it, and I would 100% not want to take anything away from Kieran. No. I thought he played it very, very well, and it was nice to see him beat a. But I don't know if I don't know quite what the words are, but is it power gamery or tournament optimized force?
I think an optimized force
with utter fluff.
Yeah.
And you know, after I stopped doing this,
how did that just happen?
I was like, that's great. Congrats. So well played, Kieran.
Yeah.
You absolute.
And then we had a short break.
Yeah, just a little break.
Just a quick break to sort of use the toilet,
To
basically.
explain how I lost that game.
Yeah.
To everyone in the room.
Damian, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened? I lost.
We're now also, it's probably worth catching up on where we are that Ed, who the three of us are in there, had lost the first game.
He lost his first game, yeah. Modified Reconnoiter.
So we were then thinking, oh, this is good for us.
Ed's lost his first game. Oh, this is good.
And now I've lost this.
So, this is brilliant.
Yeah. So Jamie's now thinking,
2 wins. I've got a bit of a safety net now if anything goes awry. Then we went into Hold Ground, and I was drawn against Josh Meads, and he had a wonderfully painted, based and themed Barlin's Expedition.
Ah, right, yeah.
So you had Barlin, the Son of Funding version,
yep.
So the good version. He had Floy and a Dwarf Captain, leading just regular Dwarf Warriors, no elites.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like that. Points for fluff.
Yeah. And he also had Ori Anoin.
Oh, cool.
From Thorin's company in there.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, I was thinking about it later on in the day. I was like, he's taken probably the worst two separate heroes.
And particularly if the whole ground they get separated, they're dead.
They're dead. Yeah. Well, we roll for priority because, as you know, in this scenario, priority is the thing you don't want in first turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is, I hate this scenario setup.
Do you?
Yeah, I hate the fact that you all come on at once.
Yeah.
It should be alternate.
It should be. Yeah, we talked about it in the previous similar sort of things. Or my idea is that you, your opponent picks the edge, but you pick the point.
Yeah.
If you roll a 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So you might get split up, but you're not. Shafted.
Yeah.
From the start.
So we roll for priority. I think I rolled. I rolled quite well for this. I rolled like a 2. He beat that. So I was like,
didn't you use 6 might? Oh, sorry.
Yes, I did. Yeah. So Josh rolled for all his, and pretty much all bar one set up where he wanted them to. I think it was Floyd's warband rolled badly. I chose far corner of the board. The rest of them came up here. Then I rolled for mine, and rolled for Garnbury Garn. I rolled like a 2. I was like, I might it down 1 and re-roll next turn. I was like, I don't want to take that risk because I don't want you to get
next turn you roll 2.
Yeah, but I also was thinking I need to get on and get close to the centre before the dwarves get there, and then I've got to fight them off it.
Yeah.
So 2 might to come on, and came on this board edge, just walked on, potentially threatening with blowpipes for this warband of dwarves, and then rolled for Rumil, and rolled, I think it was a 3. I think I rolled a natural 5 for him because he ended up coming on this far board edge. So I was like, that's okay. Gladriel, roll 2. Oh,
it's happening again.
It's happening. 2 might. Often you come this way. Roll for Legolas, like a 3. I was like, but might. On he comes. So yeah, it was.
It's worth using it. I think we've talked about this. Yeah. It's always worth using the might to get on.
This is what I was thinking. I was like, I've theorised about using the might to do it, and I'm gonna do it this game. Because I think it's needed.
You've also got a lot of might.
Yeah, I've got 12 might in the army, and I was looking at Josh's force. He's got not a lot of might because he's got Floyd, the captain,
and Oin and Ori. We've got 1 each.
Yeah, and then so I think I was 1 behind. Yeah. Going into it, I was like, I'm not too fussed with that. We ended up just moving towards. As soon as we got into sort of 18-inch range, cause I think he had 12 dwarf bows, which is pretty scary for me. I was worried. I had Channel Blinding Lights up by this point. I was like, because I had 1 more might point, I can only try it once. And if I double one day.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So no. Gust Blinding Lights gone off, forces have come here, Wozers have reached the front, bows on the back, shooting the bowman ideally. The shooting war, I rolled really, really well in. I think I killed about 8 dwarves before combat. And so obviously that's one getting.
It's wounding on 6s as well.
Wounding on 6s, yeah. And hitting on 4s because I was moving constantly forwards. Yeah. But in the previous game, Josh was saying how well his archers had done. Against Sam Jeffrey, in 3 turns, you killed 17 goblins.
With 12.
With 12 dwarf bowmen, so 36 shots.
Hitting on
It should be
fours
hitting on
if they haven't
4s
moved.
if they haven't moved, which they probably did at one point. And then
6,
4s to wound.
16 if they don't move.
Yeah.
4s to wound. 8.
8, so it should be 8, and he's doubled that. So
Obscene.
when none of mine were down, I was like, well, you've obviously burnt out your
Yeah,
good luck
yeah.
in the previous game. Ultimately, the lines clashed, and again, the axes and Gone went a bit mental with his axe. Go up to the defence strength 7, and drop to the dwarves.
Angry little midget.
Yeah. Screw your armour. Rolled through them quickly, and at this point, Josh has always said that the axes, in theory, are bad, but seeing them in action and doing so well, he was not happy with me.
In theory, but
Like, in theory, the axes do well,
yeah,
but seeing it actually happen to your army
yeah,
and how quickly the dwarves drop
yeah,
what they should be doing,
yeah.
he wasn't best pleased. So eventually, I broke
Bad
him.
good.
Bad person. Broke him, took him off the objective in the centre, and the game ended 25-7 to myself.
Cool, good day.
Yeah, good game. Yeah.
I've only played Josh once at a Throne of Lols, I think. It's nice guy.
I voted for Josh as my best army and as my best opponent.
Oh.
It was a really chilled out, relaxed game. Like, we both knew what the forces were going to do to each other. And yourself?
I played George Seymour at Whole Ground, and I played him. He was the guy who brought 2 mimics to East Grinstead, so we played there.
Oh yeah.
So again, really happy to see him turn up because I know he's a nice guy. You're gonna get a chill game,
Yeah.
and I always want the last game of any day. You want to kind of be
A
quite
really
relaxed,
good
so
one.
you go into the evening happier. I
Happy,
think.
yeah. You don't want a stressed out game and then you go into the evening
Yeah.
still a bit tense.
Yeah, absolutely. So he had the Knight of Umbar on Felbeast.
Mhm.
Felbeast.
Felbeast. And Knight of Umbar is popular.
Yeah. I think as the one on his own, people like him because
Yeah, he's got 3 might.
he'll nick your stats and
He's never
can
worse
kind
off
of protect
than
himself.
50,
Yeah. Also makes it very hard to things like heroic strike against him.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. He had something like 8 Harad warriors they were led by the Knight of Umbar.
Yeah.
He had a Mahud King on a camel.
And a camel.
On a camel, which I was quite excited about.
If they kill when they charge, do they get to move on?
No, because they're not a throwing weapon.
But it's a throwing weapon.
No, it's not a throwing weapon.
No,
It's a
but
camel.
it is a throwing weapon. It's a strength
Oh,
throwing weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie's not an idiot.
No.
People ask an awful lot of questions.
Impale does not. It's not. It's just a strength 4 hit.
Yeah.
You always charge 2 models in case you kill the guy you've charged.
So there's an awful lot of frequently asked questions that come up against camels, despite the fact that I've never seen a camel at a tournament, I think, before.
However.
This one was full of camels. So it was great to actually see a camel.
Yeah.
And
It's a novel sight.
and I was praying that all these things that we've taken time to debate at length
Came up,
but none of them did. So put your camels back in the box. So yeah, he had that. But that was really cool. You don't see Mahud a lot, and he had 8 Mahud warriors.
Yeah.
And I don't think
Mahud placed quite well in this tournament.
Yeah, because Raphael had them.
Yeah.
But I've never really seen the models.
No.
It was nice to.
They're
very
quite
rare.
cool.
Yeah, they do. So he was leading him, and then he had 2 other warbands. One of which was a is it Corsair Captain, I think, with crossbow and some Arbalasters.
Yes. Yeah.
Arbalasters. And the other one was a Taskmaster with about 5 Watches of Karna and 5 Spearmen. Something like that. It was Whole Ground. He won priority.
Oh, good.
I can't remember if I got to pick or anything, but you can't really. You can, if you've lost priority, you can't really do your opponent over because you don't know where you're going to be.
Yeah.
But you can separate them.
Yeah.
So whoever picked it for whatever reason, he had. I'm gonna need the map again.
Yeah.
Landscape board. He had the Mahud coming down from here. He had the Felbeast coming up from here.
Yeah.
And he had 2 warbands come on here.
Okay.
With a little gap in
Not
between.
terribly spread out.
No, but those 2 were quite far away from the other. But these guys were in force, and I rolled, and I can't remember the order it happened in, but my first warband ended up. So he's got 2 warbands down this side.
Yeah.
My first warband ended up here. I can't remember if he put it there to ambush me, or if I rolled well.
Yeah.
I then rolled well for the next one, and put them at the other end. So suddenly now it's my warband, his warband, his warband, my warband.
Yeah.
I then roll my last warband. I use a point of might. It was from Vrasku to put it on in between his.
Very nice.
So now it goes my warband, his warband, my warband, his warband, my warband.
It's not a sandwich you want to be in.
My 32 models against his 20, something like that. And the Felbeast is a long way away.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things, like you were saying with the Felbeast, where I was like, I'm sorry, because it's not in the bag, it's not guaranteed, but
these troops
in a way
are going to die.
Yeah, your game might be over.
Yeah.
That's why I think whole ground. I like it when it splits out fairly.
Yeah.
You know, and no one gets really done over.
Yeah.
But to be fair to George,
that's a poor setup for him.
Yeah, he's potentially going to lose half his army for very little loss, and then he's in trouble. But being relatively experienced, I realised how important the maths was.
Yes.
Because whole ground ends
50%.
Yeah, when one side's broken.
Yeah.
And I suddenly thought, hang on, if I wipe all of and I did the maths, if I wipe everything out here that I've ambushed, I only have to kill one more model to end the game. Yeah. Or to start rolling the dice, at which point he'll have about 20 models from the other 2 warbands on the centre.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so what do you do?
What do you now need to do? And you've put yourself in a little bit
so
of
I mean, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
So I smash him, you know, they all charge in. Saruman's like immobilising those 2 captors, I think, and the Felbeast is heading on over here.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty safe for him for a while. And I, over a couple of turns, smashed through a lot of them. And then he's moving everything else into the middle. And I brought everything on. I start walking towards the middle, and at this stage I've started only charge. You start by surrounding everything.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of going, I'm killing these a bit quick.
Start putting like one guy.
Yeah, you put 1 guy, but I've got no shields, so I can't shield.
You can't do the pole.
Yeah.
You're still killing, you know.
I've got to try and kill.
Yeah.
And the tricky thing wasn't about, it was just march to the middle, but to get to the middle, I'd have to fight through him, which involved killing models. And I actually began to get a bit worried.
Yeah, it's the worst problem. Yeah. You killed far too quickly.
Yeah, and I was like,
and end the game and lose it on yourself.
If I break him this turn, the game will end something like 15-3 to him. Yeah. And I was like, right, okay, so be a bit careful. And I started walking up here, and the Mahood was 6 inches away from the objective. Yeah. So I couldn't go that way. So I then started coming around here to where the spearmen are, and moving in there without charging. Yeah. And kind of waiting till there's a turn where I can move in and be in range of the objective, essentially. Yeah. And then over there as well, I'm just there was a couple of turns where I then stopped charging him altogether and just left.
Just start leaving.
Yeah. So I was doing that. The Felbeast, I can't remember. I don't know what happened to it. I remember Saruman kept coming out from behind a house and doing stuff to it. Yeah. I think I might have Sorcerer's Blasted it. Yeah. But that could be wrong. I don't think it was alive at the end of the game. This was like yesterday. I can't remember.
It's far too long ago.
Yeah. So anyway, basically, it then got to one turn and I realised he was 3 models away from breaking, and I still wasn't in a position to necessarily win it. Yeah. And I killed 2 of them. I was like,
oh no.
And then I got to a combat, and it's like a feral against the Harad warrior.
Oh.
His defense 4 stuff, and the Harad warrior wins it, and I was like, good, yes. And then we kind of went on, and I remember just going, oh, there's another combat, and it was over here at the edge. I was like, oh no, it was like a shielding guy, and I think George then, I don't think he was trying to get himself killed, no. But I think he said shielding, which obviously increased his chances of winning, and he won that thankfully. But if I'd killed that guy, and then we rolled a 1 or a 2, I don't think I would have won. No. Obviously, you do have another turn. Yeah. Because you kill the model, then the next turn you're broken, and that's the end of that's the turn you roll.
This came up again with one of James Braun's game with, I think it was Sam Langlan. Yeah. And they went to Chris and Damian about it. Other Damian, obviously, not you, because you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And they argued it, and it suddenly made sense again. Like, I always get iffy on this whole braking thing. Was that you start rolling from the turn that this thing is happened. So you brake at the start of a turn, and you're meant to roll once this condition's met.
Yeah.
So you've broken start of the turn, so you'd have that. Yeah, you'd have that one game turn, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we do it. It used the way that it used to be, or some people used to play it, is that because people say as you remove the model, you go, "Oh, I'm broken now."
Yeah.
And that's in a fight phase. You go, "All right, I'll roll the dice."
At the end of the turn, but
But it's actually that you start a turn and then determine that you're broken.
Yeah.
And then you play the turn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And roll the 1 or 2.
I hope that's what they did.
Yeah. Now that's how they do it. GW do it, through goals and all that. So.
Well, that's the right way. I'm just hoping that's what they ended up doing.
Yeah, you'd hope so.
Yeah.
So, I think, thankfully, having averted that little disaster, I then had the extra turn to jump on the objective.
Yeah.
As I say, I can't imagine there was a fell beast running around.
Like and stuff.
Yeah, because he would have been smashing me up, but I don't see no. And ultimately, then once I'm in that position, I'm like, right, now I can kill everything.
Yeah.
And cut through them. And I think, don't have the VPs to hand, I think it might have been about 15. I think he got 7. I've got him having 7 for some reason. I think it was like 15 or then possibly 18 for killing a leader or breaking. 18-7, something like that. So I really enjoyed it. That sounds sick.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good game. Like, I liked the game, and George was very kind of sporting about it. You know, he wasn't like moaning about it or anything. But you can't help but feel like that probably wasn't that much fun for you.
Yeah.
Although he was very, very close to winning it.
Yeah.
Like at one point, so it could have very easily backfired on me. But I liked it, and it was a good way for me, I thought, to end the day on 2 wins and a loss, and you're on
3 wins.
3 wins.
Yeah.
Full house. And
Ed lost his last game.
He lost the 3rd game. I mean, no one saw this in the script.
No.
So we've got Ed on 1 win, me on 2 wins, and Jamie on 3 wins.
I'm feeling very happy going into the
You must be thrilled with that.
Yeah, I was like, it's a perfect start.
Yeah. It's not just your day going well, but it's the other days going badly.
Yeah.
So that, we talked about it, I think, and he scrinsted one or whatever it was, but it's that kind of little sick bit of you. And there was a lot of that.
You lost? Yes!
There was a lot of that telling our opponents to pound each other again this time. Yeah. Your guys just kept failing on that day 1. They had 1 job.
1 job, team.
But so that was that, which was really good.
It's good, yeah.
We then faffed. For a very long time in the place. We
didn't do anything.
No, people stood there and debated whether to put things in cars or take things to the hotel or leave things there, and everyone left very slowly.
You faffed. I went straight to the hotel with James.
Oh, were you not part of the faffing part?
I was part of the faffing.
No, well done.
We went straight to the hotel, dropped our stuff off, and then I think went straight to the pub.
Oh, I like it. Very efficient.
Yeah.
Should have done that.
Yeah.
We faffed. It was awful. It took forever. And this is all like beer time.
It's drinking time.
Yeah.
Probably for the best.
I don't think we needed any more beer. And so we then when we were all staying in the same hotel.
Yeah.
The Chumley Lodge, which is great to sleep in at a wargaming tournament, but don't take your girlfriend there.
No. It's a weird little place.
It's a bed, isn't it? It's a bed to crash on. It's not a.
It's not a scenic.
Yeah. Any overseas viewers who are thinking of coming to England, we're not when these hotels that get mentioned in these videos, they're kind of places to stay. They're not where you want to live for a week. Yeah. If you go over to visit,
you just keeping on. Yeah, you literally just keeping on the bed, aren't you?
Yeah. Or in the bathroom.
Or
corridor.
The corridor.
So we went and checked in. I was sharing a room with Callum and
checked in.
Yeah, wandered in, knocked on the door.
Hello, what do we do? Oh, there's an envelope with my name on it. Oh, it's got my okay.
You think that's weird? You know what's weirder?
Huh?
There not being an envelope with your name on it.
Oh.
No, didn't have one. And I went to the man. Yeah, and he went, oh, yeah, we found this guy, and he's like, when did you book? I'm like, I don't know. 2 months ago or something. He went, oh, let me go off. And then kind of wandered back and go, okay. And he went, have you paid for it? And what would you say?
I think so, yeah.
See, I think you've thought about it too much. Like, I was too honest. He went, have you paid for it? I don't know. Like, because you don't. I don't know exactly. They do that.
They
take your card and
Yeah.
I don't. You know, you might have been keeping an eye on it on your
Yeah.
statement. I was like, I honestly don't know. And then he went, oh okay, we've got no record of a payment. I was like, maybe I didn't pay for it. I don't know. And then like Callum was like, you should have said you paid for it.
Yeah.
But I remember they're a very old-fashioned place. I just rang them up, and he said, "Yep, you've got a room." I never.
Okay.
There was no.
See, I did my booking online and had my order reference and everything. I was ready to walk up to a receptionist and be like, "Oh, that's my code. If you want to check me in," but no.
No way.
It's just.
So yeah, we went to our weird little family room that we stayed in a very similar setup, and it's great. There were 4 of us.
Yeah.
And so obviously for 4 single guys, the bed situation is a single bed, a double bed, and 2 bunk beds. It's like brilliant.
Top bunk.
Yeah, top bunk, Bagsy.
Yeah.
And a microwave and a fridge, as you'd expect in a hotel room.
A fridge in every hotel room was weird.
It's odd. It's just a strange little place.
You're not staying here for a week.
It's a microwave. What?
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, we checked in there, dumped our stuff, headed round to the pub, which is the Catcher in the Rye, which
very good little pub.
Thumbs up.
Very good.
From us.
I'll give them a like on TripAdvisor.
It's the Titans pub of choice.
Yeah.
It's where we always kind of go there for the debrief. And we'd ordered our food in advance.
Yeah.
And there were 31 of us.
31
did you say 34? Was that including Chris and
31
Damian?
and 34. No,
Was it 36?
33 then included now.
33.
Who turned up? Was it?
No, I mean, sorry, in total at the tournament.
Oh, 34.
Including them.
Including them, yeah.
Okay, so of 34 people, 31 came to the pub.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant, like, for that community.
It's a great
thing.
little turnout.
Yeah, when like almost everyone who's there.
Yeah.
So, and they had reserved this area at the pub, so everyone was kind of sitting together. It's really, really nice.
5, so there were 6 tables or...
Yeah. And we'd order our food in advance and kind of... And
very fair play to the kitchen staff. I think they arrived obviously in waves, as you'd expect. Is that like the dishes came out in waves, but to get us all seated and fed, they did it in a good time.
The food came out over the course of about 10 minutes, I reckon.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Something like that. Of everything coming out. And actually the faffing helped there, because I essentially turned up to the pub, sat down, and went, beef burger. So that was cool. So yeah, it was really good, and that many meals I think for that service was very good. I liked it. I had the burger.
Yeah,
very nice.
I had fish and chips, which was very nice as well.
Classic Jamie.
Yeah.
Got some little ketchup.
Oh yeah. I got right to the end of the meal. Nice white t-shirt on. 1 chip. I'll put some ketchup on that.
Dangerous.
Drip, drip, drip. I was like, oh, party foul.
Yeah.
And it was a weird looking colour as well.
Yeah,
it wasn't
strange
like
colour
red. It was
in the wrong place.
Yeah.
But yeah, good food. I enjoyed it. Got a big pickle on the top of mine, which I'm a big fan of on a burger. That was huge.
See, I'm not a pickle person.
I'm a pickle person.
Just nothing.
Yeah, that's like a gherkin.
Oh, we got free wine as well.
We did get free wine
We got house wine.
I think just for being there, essentially just for having that many people.
It was 1 bottle of wine per 4 people.
Yeah. And that was very generous of the pub, but it was horrible.
The wine, I thought the wine was alright, but then I'm not putting it out as cultured. As you
I thought the wine was awful.
See, obviously, I'm just free booze.
Yeah, I got my like said you. I got my glass and I was like, free wine, and I had a third of it, and I gave it to Tom.
Yeah.
Who said so they were pouring the wine out, and he actually started. He went, "No, he's not a wine guy." I was like, "No, a wine guy. Look, I'm a wine guy. Look, I don't want that.
No, that's horrible.
I'm a nice wine guy."
I think David on our table, like we were like, "What do you want?" After white, don't really want red. The red wine is a bit too heavy.
I think red wine at a nice meal when you drink it slowly for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, just.
So it's like we've got this bottle of red on the table. I was like, anyone want to do a swap, please? Please.
It was a bit odd as well because you probably had a beer before it, and then everyone had a glass of wine, and you went back onto the beer. But it's very generous of the pub.
Beer before wine is fine.
Oh, beer after wine is fine.
Yeah.
It just depends on which word you say.
No, it's not.
That's the thing. Like I've heard both people say it.
Beer before wine is fine. Wine before beer is queer.
Yeah, but all you have to, if you change the before to after, it works the other way, doesn't it?
Shut up.
Yeah.
Screw your logic.
It is. You're right though. It's scientific fact.
Yeah,
That's the way it works. Yeah. Science.
Science.
So yeah, that was good fun.
Yep. You hosted a quiz, didn't you?
We did. We had the quiz, which worked out wonderfully well because we'd hoped there'd be teams of 6, and there were 30 people.
Yeah.
So we had 5 teams of 6, which was absolutely perfect.
Couldn't have asked for better.
Yeah, it was great. So yeah, everyone seemed well up for that, and
really well run. Yeah.
You enjoyed it?
It was very good.
Yeah, you like your quiz?
Yeah, that's good. So glad I had some proper Tolkien nerds on the table.
Yeah, it was fiendish.
Yeah,
A fiendish question. Someone, Jan put Jan put on the Facebook group that do they get to see the questions? So maybe I'll do the I'll stick it up on the Facebook group or something.
Yeah.
If you're honest, can't Google it.
Yeah, don't Google it.
There's a lot of ones. Do you know what I was actually really pleased about? There was very little pedantics.
Yeah.
Like, because there was some, the questions about the game in particular, and
Yeah.
I was ready for so much kind of,
Yeah.
well, what does this mean? What does this mean?
Yeah.
And no one did it.
No.
And no one really challenged any answers, which was good, because I made them up.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Swarm Protector. Yeah, that's a special rule.
Swarm
Right.
Protector. Oh, there's one spoiler.
Who has Swarm Protector?
Yeah, there's a
Flip
special...
that on its head.
Absolutely, there's a special rule called Swarm Protector in the main rules manual, so not like a character special rule,
No.
just under the special rules section. Anyone know who's got that? Does anyone have it?
I don't think so.
But yeah.
No.
It's that kind of obscure thing that you'll find in the fiendish Finchley quiz.
Finchley quiz.
And it was a bit of alliteration. And it was won by the Dutch guys, so Fan and Sam and Bruce and Fritz and Godolphin and Hector. Yeah, so well done guys.
Godolphin literally is like Treebird.
Yeah, they seem to do really well on the books round.
Yeah.
Which I think maybe is what put them ahead of
everyone,
other people.
Yeah.
But they got it was at 61 and they got 36, so that proved it was fiendish.
Yeah.
But what I was really pleased with, I think the lowest team only got 29.
So it wasn't.
So it was quite a small margin. So yeah, I was pleased with it. I enjoyed doing it. I thought it was good fun.
Yeah.
And they got a round of drinks. That was the quiz.
Yeah.
Then we carried on
We
drinking.
continued drinking till close.
Yeah. And
Then
it was 11:30.
That's off the I was
Said
like,
you've got to go home.
I'm gonna go home now. And everyone's like, no, come to the next pub for one more. And I was like, okay, I'll go for one more.
And I was just. There was some part of me thinking, don't do this because
Someone got tequila.
we had tequila.
We had tequila, didn't we?
James got tequila. James got me a tequila for hosting the quiz.
Yeah.
Which is a sick present. So we did tequila sandwich, and then I got him a tequila for his birthday, and then it was your birthday as well. And then we were in a tequila round system.
Yeah.
I think we had 3.
Yeah.
But the place we went to was the place we went to last year, where I ended up getting so very drunk.
Yeah.
And it was like going back in there going, nah, this didn't go well last year. But thankfully, whilst I was a little tipsy, other members of the group were worse.
Okay, 5 hours off. So James, my mate, went home really early. It was before they closed up at the previous pub. He was like, I've got the keys, I'm going to go back, I'm not great. I was like, okay, here are the keys, you go back, I'll see you later on. Went to this next pub, had my drink, and I was like, it's time for me to go,
Because this is Jamie on 3 wins.
I'm doing well, this isn't Mansfield or Nottingham. I'm doing well, and this is a little bit important, so I thought, if I have some more, I'll push myself over the edge. And
also, presuming that me and Ed are still, in your mind, the competition, we're not doing so well, and we're drinking.
It, yeah.
So
Ed especially.
Ed had some alcohol.
Wine. Yeah. So I went back, headed home, in the completely wrong direction.
You did, yeah.
Like, bye everyone, Jamie.
You're going the wrong way, mate.
Okay, this way. Thank you. Got home. Very luckily, didn't have my keys on me. Front door's shut. I was like, damn it. Phone's dead by this point. I was like, I need to get in. Someone just walking behind me just comes in, opens the door. I'm just sort of standing there lurking, walking behind them. I was like, yes.
Like a murderer.
Yeah. No, that would do. Yeah. She didn't even speak to me. Just let me in.
Oh, you won't speak to a murderer.
No, yeah. She didn't know I was a murderer.
That's true.
Got upstairs, found James in his underwear outside the room, head on the floor, we can say a puddle of sick.
Yeah.
He had a puddle of sick in front of him. Don't drink a lot of alcohol.
Don't drink it.
And I was like, "Oh, James, you're right. Why are you outside?" So, "Oh, the keys are inside." It's like, "Oh no, you've locked us out. All our stuff's in there." So I sort of, I think Sam Jeffrey had also gone back early.
Yeah.
And he heard me, came out, and was like, "Oh, hey Jamie, oh, what's James doing?"
Why is this man in the corridor asleep?
What's he doing here? I was like, "Sam, can I borrow your phone, please? I need to ring Chumley Lodge."
You rang the hotel from inside the hotel?
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, I'm on the top floor. I'm locked out. Can someone let me in?" Managed to just suddenly shake James up whilst the guy came, let us in. And from that point onwards, I just left it on the latch.
Right.
And managed to get James into bed, sorted, glass of water, vomit everywhere. Just the room was... He painted the walls a little bit. And yeah, that was my night.
I missed out on all of this because we were still out.
Yeah.
So there's a big group of us who were left in this bar till late. I think we were there till about 1 or something. Got very merry, came home and stayed thankfully on a different floor, in a different room, where there was no illness.
Yeah.
And then there was 5 of us, there was 4 of us sleeping in there, and then David Reed and Sam Jeffrey and Billy were in there for ages, and we were just chatting away. And it was lovely. It was just a really nice night, and then eventually we all dozed off about 2. Yeah. And very happy with the way the evening had gone, I think. Yeah. Except James. Probably wasn't.
James was really grim.
But it was the perfect example of the stuff that we always talk about the community thing. It was just a cracking night out with
good
really good friends.
Yeah.
Like that, it's such a bonus.
I think I really missed that after the 5 weeks of no tournaments and no contact to anyone. I was like,
absolutely.
I just want to go out and get drunk.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
And so that whole social aspect is a very fun thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we went to bedding pies. Yeah.
Very happily. I got a different... I went into a different room, got a new sheet, and that was my bed cover. James could have the defiled one.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
On the next episode of Damian's Tournament Review, Day 2.
Day 2. So be sure to comment, like, share and subscribe.
Support your hobby.
And happy strategy battle gaming, guys.